Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here, and welcome back to my channel. This afternoon I thought we'd start off a little different, so I'm going to play you a repeat record I found in the local charity shop about a couple of weeks ago, and this is Paul Robson, Emperor of Song. I've actually got two copies of this already, and I wasn't sure I'd actually got this copy, but this is a really first-class copy, so I thought I'd open this video broadcast with Paul singing. So I'm going to play the first track, My Curly-Headed Babies, and then we'll get into the business of talking about the Decca Salon 73, because it's been, well, at least 2 months actually since I last spoke about that. So without further ado, let's play Paul Robson's opening track. Wow, that's amazing. That's a really lovely track by Paul Robson, and he opens our show this afternoon. I'm just going to turn the Good Soul record deck off here. It's a Schools record player which I've had for many years and really love having it in the workshop here. And while I was playing Paul, I was doing your tour of the Decca Salon 73 progress, really, because things have really moved on, and I think, I don't know about you, but I think she's really looking very nice now. I've got her on this trestle table because it's easy to work on. I had her on a side actually, and I know from the last video I was talking about doing all the refurbishment there, and also doing some of the varnish. I've left the patina the same. I've tried to leave as much as possible because I do believe that these machines, you know, like anything of antique value, the value diminishes if you destroy some of the originality, and I'm very keen to keep things the same. So, but I have actually revarnished the front. I think that's quite important, because that was, I mean, this machine's had quite a hard life, as you know. Just to recap, I had to put a new motor in because the spring has gone, the double spring box. So I've gone for a single spring now, a good Garrard 20 single box, and that's sitting here just waiting to go back in the on the plinth. This is the motorboard itself in this case, and a lot of other work's been going on in the over the weeks, getting all the stuff ready. So you can see here quite clearly the saxophone style horn for this machine that goes down the back there and then back up again, and that's what I was showing you with the top open. The piece of work that I've been doing most recently has been on the fretwork, this fretwork here, and what I've done is I've rubbed it all down, taken off the just move that CD out the way. I'm going to talk to you about that shortly. I've taken off this cloth. This was the original cloth, and it had actually, unfortunately, it had got a mark on it that I couldn't get off. Let me just open this up. I think, oh, there we go. I tried to remove the mark. This is about 80 years old, this piece of fabric. I tried to remove this mark here. I talked about this, I think it was in the last video. Yeah, this mark here, I tried to remove that, I couldn't get it, so I've taken this off, and it came off really easily. The glue had sort of gone to crystallised, all this glue around the edge here. And if I just turn, let me just do this without you camera on it. If I just turn this over, you can. This is the fretwork, and you can see around the edge. It's by the way, it's the 4th of November, and you can hear the fireworks going off in the background. It's not gunfire or shooting or anything, it's just fireworks, because I live very near a lot of open spaces and fields and that, and on the estate, and there's fireworks nights going to take place, and with lots of bonfires and that, so it should be a good evening. I love watching the fireworks from the house. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, so a lot of this stuff I've rubbed it down. You can't see it that clearly now, because I've managed to rub it all down, and I just put the other light on. That's better. And what I've done is I've revarnished. Just turn this over. I've revarnished all of this, and I'm going to. I've just got a little bit more to do on the actual edges, and once that's been done, then things will really look nice. This actually fits into here. And you have, there's a certain way of taking this out, which is what I've done. I'm just going to pop it up in there. Right, so this is how it would look. You'd have the cloth, of course, behind that, the new cloth. And then there's some bits of wood, that edging here, that fit in the side here and keep it in place. But what happens is the motorboard fits on top of this, and so it keeps it in place also. So it has to be put in a certain, taken out in a certain way. Otherwise, you can't fit it afterwards. And then the doors, of course, fit on the edges here. But it's looking really nice, you know, and it will really look nice in the office, in the house and the main house. And I'll then obviously be able to play along with the other two gramophones in there. Have choice about what we play, but this is going to be the go-to machine, though I love the 101 and the VV50 Vitrola machine I bought last Christmas. I think I really do love that. So, but I think you'll agree it's really coming along now, and I'm really pleased, you know. So yeah, it's been a labour of love really, and I do really love putting these machines back again. Trying to fit everything in, because that's what it's like. The bits I've got to do now is just the edges here. You can see where the varnish has come off, and then once that's done and I'm happy with that, I'll then get my new fabric and then just stick it to the edge as well, so it should look very nice. Anyway, I want to talk to you about a few other things. So that's the update really on, that's part 5 of the Decca Salon 73 so far, and I know it's probably you're thinking, well, that's not a great deal of upload, but it has taken a while to get all the varnish done. without removing too much of the original, and I think it looks quite nice. I'm still looking for a key for the lock that I've taken out and refurbished. Just really aesthetically pleasing, really, to do that. I'm not going to lock it off or anything, but I think it'll look quite nice there. But the case, I think, is really good, and considering it's over 80 years old, this machine, I think I'm quite pleased with it, actually. It's my first venture, or second venture, doing a cabinet machine. The first one was the Cello, which I've got in the house, which I've got to sort the motor out in that. It suddenly stopped. It's running a bit slow, and I think I know why. There's a bearing I need to sort out, some more grease, but I've got to take the motor out to do that. That was a wooden horn, part wooden horn, part steel. This is totally aluminium, aluminum, as the Americans call it, and steel construction, that which of course makes it much lighter when you're trying to shift it. So there we go. Right, so on to other things now. So we just put Mr. GoPro back on his. Right, so there we go. Good to see everybody. And if you're new to my channel, do subscribe. It's great to have. I've had lots of new subscribers recently, and it's really nice to have people come on board and enjoy what I enjoy doing in my spare time, though there's not much of it sometimes. Today's the 4th of November. Tomorrow's firework night, and so obviously there's lots of parties going on, bonfire parties going on, fireworks going off. So it's so expect a load of fireworks tonight as well. It's actually about 12 degrees as well. It's still quite warm, but it's just starting to get a bit cold now because it's now dark outside. Unfortunately, the clocks have gone back, and I'm still feeling a bit of that. It's hard, you know. I don't know what it is. Whenever the clocks go back or go forward, I always feel it. I feel tired for a whole 2 weeks, and I've had a really busy week at work as well, and been doing some wonderful stuff with the digital catapult in London, with some small to medium sized enterprises using technology, because I've got a new job which includes the title of innovation, which is quite creative, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm learning lots about the low powered wide area network and low one as well. You know, this low power stuff that's been going on. I've been involved in a project for 2 weeks, setting targets and setting challenges, should I say, not targets, challenges for a group of about 25 SMEs. And I'll put the link down there because it really is quite exciting, and they've come up with some really innovative stuff, because I work within the health and social care sector, and we're quite behind the loop. I'm doing some piloting work with electronic care planning systems and also auditing systems coming up next year within the organisation I work for, a national organisation. But it's been a real journey. I'm thoroughly enjoying every minute of it. So just about other things nebulous, really. Over the weekend, a couple of weeks ago, went to see this lady, Harriet. She's got an amazing voice, and I'm going to play one of her tracks in a second. If you like Karen Carpenter and Shania Twain, well, this lady's got the most amazing voice. It sounds very similar to both. And I had every song on this album is lovely, and I had an amazing evening. Family and I had an amazing evening listening to her at the Pizza Express Music Room in Maidstone. I've been there lots of times, but we had a super time. We had a lovely meal, very relaxing, and Harriet, sung the for a couple of hours non-stop. So quite an experience there. The other one that I've also seen there, and I'm going to play a track from this album as well, is Paul Dunton and Orchestra. And Paul often plays at the music room, Pizza Express Music Room, and there are several around the country. I think there's one in Birmingham, 2 in London, and we've got one in Maidstone as well. There might be other places as well. That's the ones that normally send me updates on the social networking system on email. And this is the debut album, Clearly Invisible it's called, and a really nice track I'm going to play of that from Paul. I actually helped fund this album, so Paul used crowdfunding, and I'm actually mentioned on the album itself. So it's a bit of a crossover band he's got there, but I'll let you be the judge of how you think that sounds. So it's really good. So if I'm going to play Harriet to start with, and I think it's track 5 I'm going to play. The track I'm going to play is first and last. Okay, so I'm going to... Mr. Denon is working this afternoon. At least he was 5 minutes ago, and I tested the machine out. So enjoy, and let me know what you think of Harriet and her lovely singing. There we go.
Sometimes we forget the way we started out. Those days make time to see beyond the clouds. This won't take long before we move on. Remember the first time, the first line, the words you said to me. Remember the first rush, the first touch. There's some things we can't see. We wear many coats of change. Underneath we're still the same. You are the first and the last love for me. Wild hearts and freedom is all there were. Don't lose your way home. It's there that you fell. What makes us strong is where we've come from. Remember the first time, the first line, the words you said to me. Remember the first rush, the first touch. There's some things we can't see. We wear many coats of change. Underneath we're still the same. You are the first and the last. Hearts and minds right the wrongs, heal the scars. We let stars to get us back to who we are. Remember the first time, the first line, the words you said to me. Remember the first rush, the first touch. There's some things we can't see. We wear many coats of change. Underneath we're still the same. You are the first and the last love for me.
There we go. That was Harriet, and I think you agree. A really lovely song actually, and I really enjoyed. That's one of the best tracks on the album, I think. But there was loads of others actually in the same sort of vein, you know. So, and there's some additional tracks. This is the what they call, this is the deluxe edition, and she even very kindly signed it for me as well, which I'm really pleased about. So, and I've got that on the iPod in the car, so it's absolutely marvellous to hear about that. Just thought I'd mention also that new members are joining us all the time, and it's nice to know that people are signing up to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, and look forward to your comments as well in the comments box. But one of my contacts in the local charity shop, Bernardo's, is a young chap called Harry. He's currently at Kent University doing creative art there, and I'll just give a shout out to Harry because he's starting to get into audio, and he's collecting, he got himself an amplifier from the charity when it came in, and he's linked it up to his deck, and also some speakers he was telling me today. And I said, you need to get onto my YouTube channel. So it's good to see that we've got new members coming all the time, and now YouTube lets you know when you've got new people signed up, so it's good to see that. I'm not into ratings. I just enjoy what I do. You people tell me what you enjoy. It's great to be part of the community we have, and so and it's great. I just enjoy telling you about what I get up to and putting it out there so that everyone can ask me questions. It's funny enough, I've had quite a few questions about record decks, which go back at least 6 or 7 years now, and I have to remember how I took the thing apart. So I do enjoy people commenting. If I don't always get back to you as quickly as you think, that's fine. If I may not be able to answer the question also, because some of the technical stuff, I'm not with you, I'm actually at a distance, so it's not always easy to offer advice. I'll give you what I know, and it's great there. So but just thought I'd mention it. One of the other things that I quite enjoy doing is I'm going to start a new sport next year, and I've been watching a young man called Tucker Gott who does paramotoring. And for those that you don't know what paramotoring is, and if you do, great, I'd love to hear from you. Paramotoring is paragliding with a motor. And I've been reading this really good book by Noel Whittle, and it's called Paramotoring from the Ground Up. I got this on Amazon, and a paramotor is this thing here, which is basically a fan that you wear on your back while actually flying and using the theory of flight. And I'm about, I suppose I'm a quarter way through this amazing book. I read it on the train going to London, to my office in London, and it's fascinating. So I signed up to the UK PPG organisation. I'm just going to show you their website here when I get it up. Here we go. So I'll just take this to GoPro off and show you the iPad and see it on there. And there we go. I think it might have too much reflection on here. We just take these lights off a bit. There, that's better, isn't it? So I don't know if you can see that properly. I'll put the link at the bottom. So, and they've got a whole plethora of stuff there. It's the course I'm going on is it's interesting because you pay a fee and then you go as many times as you need to get your certificate. I'm doing 7 days in April, which is a good time to fly, but you can't guarantee flying because the weather may not be conversant with paramotoring, which you need to make sure it's not too windy. So normally you fly early morning or in the late afternoon, but I've been talking to Neil Davis, who's one of the instructors there, so I've just booked my accommodation, and I'm really looking forward to it. Everything's included. All I have to do is take my boots with me, and it will be a fascinating time. So it's an exciting time, taking up a new interest, and I've got so many. If you're at all interested, then have a look, and I'll put the links on the bottom there so that you can actually check it out yourself. Okay, so that's a bit of interest really there for that. And just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, I've got a list this afternoon. And the other thing I was going to mention to you is that let's put him back up there. Is that when I'm looking for YouTube channels, I use the recommended box that comes up and just scan across all those YouTube channels there and pick out certain ones. I come across a couple of new ones that I'm going to share with you, and apart from the ones that I've currently got on my subscription list, one is called Master Milo 82. This chap is based in Holland, and he does some crazy stuff with cars. His current project is that he's taken a Volkswagen Golf, I think it's a Mark IV, and he's actually shunted it. He's cut it in half, and it does all sorts of antics. Before that, he had a three-wheeler made out of a Ford KA, and he does it all. Welds it all together. Amazing skill set he's got there. I quite enjoy his dog called Diesel, who is running around with a stick in his mouth most of the time. And but it's a really good watch actually. And now I can watch YouTube on the big screen in the lounge. It's even more fun when television gets a bit boring. The other one I quite enjoyed watching is a chap called Alex from Curiosity Incorporated, and he's He's actually based in Canada, and he goes around looking for old cars and does them. He drives around in an ambulance, a Cadillac ambulance, a bit like the one in Ghostbusters. In fact, he's set it out like Ghostbusters. Great guy, great family guy. Got a shop there, and some of the stuff he finds is quite amazing as well. So just thought I'd update you about some of the other channels I've been watching. So that's it really. What I'll do is I'll just put Paul Dunton on, because as Harriet's finished playing there, and I'll let you enjoy Paul Dunton Orchestra. I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning him. Well, I don't think he will actually. He's got some really lovely crossover tunes there from his band, and I'm just going to play the first one, and so enjoy. There we go. Thanks very much, Paul. Fantastic. That's great. Thanks very much to those. And that track was from the debut album called Clearly Invisible and Give Me a Reason. That's great. And the last track from Harriet was First and Last. That was really nice. I really like those. Both those I got in my car and playing them quite regularly. So that's it really. If you're, as I say, if you'd like to subscribe if you're new. Otherwise, I look forward to your comments down below. And so this is part 4, is it? 4 or 5? I can't remember now. What I just said earlier. I think it's part 5. And as I say, the Decca Salon's coming along very nicely, and look forward to comments and see you on the next one. So peace out, guys.